I just want to remind everybody that here in Morocco, we are in the month of Ramadan, the holy month. And if I personally look a little harassed and unkept, it's because probably I'm sleeping down here in the office at night time for reasons that I've explained to you before. But I want to say something to you quite briefly, and I want to make 3 points because it's all quite positive and we're moving forward. Firstly, I told you about the so-called sanctuary that's been set up in Agadir, that's called, what's it called, Donkey Paradise, and that their rather unfortunate reaction to me. They asked me for help, they asked me for money, they asked me for medication, and when I offered to take a donkey with a severed leg, I was accused of stealing their donkeys and being a colonialist, which I find quite extraordinary. Anyway, I'm very pleased to say that the rather abusive posts have been taken down, and I hope that's because of the very good friends we have in Agadir. And I must tell you that we are taking a very damaged, sad mule from Agadir this week through the help and cooperation from the association called Sara down in Agadir, which is the Sunshine Refuge for Animals at Agadir, a marvellous, marvellous group of people. I just couldn't commend them strongly enough. And I will very shortly put a picture of the mule on post for you so you can see the mule that is coming from Agadir. Secondly, I want to speak to you briefly about the people who have tried to take their horses back from us. Now, I must remind people who are a little uncertain that these horses came to us nearly a year ago during the pandemic, who had been abandoned, collapsed in the street and were dying. And we've restored them to health at some considerable expense. And the vet has said they are not able to return to work. And we take the vet's advice. The owners have suddenly realised that one of them, particularly Umnas, is looking quite fine and he may be worth something. So he wants them back to sell in the souk, or he wants payment from us. Now, we always, and I want to tell people who have approached me, if we have to take a donkey off a working donkey off a family who are clearly in difficulties, we will always try and compensate and help them get a new donkey. But these circumstances are different. These horses were abandoned and they would have died. And quite frankly, when they arrived on our doorstep, they had no value. If they have a value now, it is because of the care, the treatment, staffing, the food. And we don't want them to go back to work, and we don't want them to be sold in the souk. And this is where they will retire. If it ends up in the courts, so be it. We will argue our case. But at the moment, without going into the fine detail, we are the legal owners. But of course, we've had to put extra security in place, and I'm not going to share that with everybody, but it is in place. And I don't feel particularly stressed or feared of what might happen here, because I know I only have to press a button and half of the village would be over here to protect us. And that takes us on to my 3rd point, our amazing, incredible, wonderful staff. Our 2 young managers, neither of them are married, they're very young, and we have Khalid, who is married with a young son, and we have Abdani, who is our horse whisperer, and he has 2 children, another on the way. They have been just amazing, because our night guardian, who is equally amazing, hurt his back 3 days ago trying to lift one of the mules, and he can't come into work. He never takes a night off. He really doesn't. He is so committed to this place, it's untrue. But he can't come into work at the moment. So what we're doing is, that's why I'm sleeping down here in the office. But what I think is unbelievable is these 4 people who are not really taking time off. And 2 of them come in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And then when the donkeys are settled down at 4, 5 o'clock and they've all had their meal, they go home. But after evening prayers and after they have broken fast and it's dark, all 4 of them come back and make sure that our 130 equines are okay and all have their supper. And I have tried to suggest recompensing them, and they won't take any compensation during Ramadan. This is their Ramadan gift. But I do promise you we will see they're okay at the end of Ramadan. I think that sort of commitment really spells out the spirit of the Moroccan people. And I want to thank the Moroccan people who have written to me and supported us and given their full support in relation to the people who've tried to come and claim horses, the people in Agadir who were criticising us. I have never, ever in my life here in Morocco experienced racism until the last few days, when I was told that if I didn't give money to the people who claimed they were the owners of these horses, I should go back to the UK, number one. And secondly, the person who is organising the sanctuary down in Agadir, who accused me of being colonialist because I wanted to take the donkey with a severed leg. I wanted to take that donkey because it needs specialist care, and he would only let it come if we agreed to return it to him. But it really can't go back to a sanctuary that has no running water, no clinic, no proper shelter. I didn't do this because of any potential competition. I did this because we are committed to the care of animals and in turn, of course, the care of humans. So thank you to all those Moroccans who've supported me. And I just wanted you to know that Charles and I feel so humbled by the support we have had from Moroccans. So God bless, and I'll speak to you soon.